how long has it been since I actually like sat down and did a live? Like probably a few weeks. I don't know. Anywho, I have no consistency. Everything feels weird. I'm literally sitting in my room talking to myself like a crazy person. I hate like falling out of like doing videos consistently and then like not being able to do any and then popping back, and it's awkward. It's super awkward. Um anyways, um so a little update. Um First of all, I am in no mood. I am literally having the worst day. Um Work has been awful, life has been awful, finances has been awful. Everything is just garbage. Um but that's kind of the standard for my life. I'm sorry if I'm like shaking a lot because arms. Um, so yes, I am in a different location, as you could probably tell. I cannot say where I am. I cannot give a town. I cannot give a location. I cannot tell you guys where I am working. I can't give out any kind of like personal information like that just because of the circumstances surrounding everything right now. But Um, for those who have been playing along at home, I am not at the shelter anymore. I left there a few weeks ago and was able to get into a building. um, but yeah, it was actually like it was weird because like my last day at the shelter was it was like weirdly bittersweet to leave, and I know that probably sounds crazy because I think a lot of people have this really, really negative idea of what life in a homeless shelter is like. And I know there's different kinds of shelters all over the place, but mine was like a 30-day shelter, and then you wouldn't always, but you could get extensions if you were doing what you're supposed to be doing and they saw progress and, things like that, because life does not move very fast in 30 days. But, um, yeah, I got so I don't know, like familiar with the staff and like that part of town and just the schedule of things, and I had like my own flow going on and like, what I would do day to day, and I was just so used to the routine that it was really weird when I left. And I remember like I was putting all of my stuff together and I was like crying, and I was like excited, but I was like crying because it was like I don't know, it was weird. I still go over there every once in a while to like visit, and yesterday I went to drop off some clothes because I've been trying to kind of like pare down my stuff. So I went to drop off some clothes, and then today I went um to pick up a hygiene bag, because even if it's stuff that like I don't need or like can't use, there's other people around me that can use it. Um, and what I mean by that is like I'm allergic to aloe because of the natural layer of latex that's in aloe. And so if there's a soap or something that has aloe in it, 9 times out of 10 it will break me out. But there's that. So yeah, it was just like seeing everybody, like they were all going in for a meeting. It was like, oh my god, hi. It was just like, ugh, it just my feels. Um, so yes, where I'm at right now is it's not permanent. But it is more or less safe. Safer than the shelter. And I'm in a room by myself. I wish I could like show you guys around, but I really can't. Um, I have a bed. Yay. It's a little bit smaller, I think, than the one I had at the shelter, but like it's still a bed. I have a dresser, I have a closet, I have a cork board that I've been like hanging up a lot of stuff, like jewelry, and like I have different envelopes for like pay stubs and ones for like rent slips and things like that to just try to stay like as organized as I can. And I'm working now. Yay. Um
It only took like 5, 6, 7 months. Um, but I was finally able to get a job. It's minimum wage, but job's a job. Um, which is really cool. I don't know how long I'll be there for. Just because I feel like every time I'm there, I'm just like screwing everything up, which is really frustrating. Um, so there's that. My finances are still a hot mess because obviously when you go from literal nothing to having, a handful of nickels, everything that you've kind of fallen behind on, you have to pick up and like restart and that. Um, let's see what else. What else is going on? I was seeing somebody for a couple weeks. Um, so we met online. He's a truck driver and he came out to see me. He was in Denver and he drove like 5 hours to come see me. And we went to lunch, we went to the movies. Everything was really good. Seemed like we were hitting it off, but then I have not heard from him in like a week, and I understand he's like busy. He's having issues with his truck and whatever. But I keep seeing him like post stuff on Facebook and like reply to people on Facebook, but literally he can't even send me like a hi text. He can't even send me like, you know, a poop emoji text, like literally anything. And I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, like you can't even text me back, like like that's just so over the top and just but I feel like if somebody is going to take the time to try to get my attention, they're not going to let it be like just this weird passive thing where it's like, oh, I can kind of talk to them when it's convenient for me or when I want something or whatever. I'm so not interested in that. And even though he's like, oh, I'll always treat you like a princess and stuff like that. And yeah, that's nice. But I know that there's someone out there that's going to treat me better and is going to text me back and is going to be like a constant, you know, reliable source of support and comfort and all of these things. And I really did like him, but also I'm just so good at dating myself, honestly. Like I am literally the best thing for me. um so yeah, I really thought I was going to be like upset about it, but I'm not because I just feel like I don't know, I'm so at ease about stuff. I've had a couple of dreams about things with this guy and like I was concerned at first that it was going to be like a big deal, but I literally can't even get in contact with him to break stuff off. So whatever. I just don't care. Um he's not a scumbag though. Like he's a really really sweet person. Like he's really nice. He's a good guy. I just feel like he's a great guy. He's just not for me. Timing's off. Like I don't know. There was like a handful of red flags that I was like, "Ooh." Like okay. So also the cough that I had that I couldn't get rid of. Yeah, I got rid of it for like a week and then it came back and it turns out I have bronchitis, like chronic bronchitis. I'm so over it. I hate it. I literally live on an inhaler now. Um so yeah, I don't know. He is a really really sweet guy. He truly is. He's really nice, but I also feel like there's some things that I shouldn't have to explain or shouldn't have to defend. And one of the things, and it might have been a cultural thing because he did immigrate here from a different country. I'm not going to say where because it's not relevant, but he did come here like 10 years ago from elsewhere. And I was I'm very cautious with what I tell new people in my real life because like talking to people on the internet it's like you can kind of share however much you want to, but like talking to people in real life it's like they could like really really reject you like to your face, and that that is a difficult thing. So I was talking to him on the phone one night, and something came up about consent. And I tried to explain to him, like, yeah, some people, oh God, what is like a PG way of saying this? Um, some people don't really understand it, and so they think that consent doesn't matter in a relationship, that if you're with somebody, like you're dating or engaged or married or whatever, that you can kind of do whatever you want. Like, even if you're like bed buddies, that you can just kind of do whatever you want because you already gave them consent the one time, or it's kind of implied or something like that. And he's like, well, you don't need consent in a relationship. And that to me, oh man, was like, but you do. Because the stuff with my ex in North Carolina, I literally can't even remember what fake name I gave him. um the stuff with him, like, that was a big issue, and to him it's kind of the same thing, and it might be cultural, I don't know, but to him consent didn't matter because we were dating. So if he came in drunk and messed up and whatever, he thought that he could just do whatever he wanted to do because we were dating, and that is not correct. Because even if you're married to somebody and you've been married for 50, 60, 30,000 years, doesn't matter. If someone comes at you and is like, "Suh," you don't have to return the "suh." You don't. Because just died. Literally, I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. But anywho, you get what I'm saying. Like, oh, that was my iPad. Okay. But you get what I'm saying. Like, literally, I shouldn't have to explain consent, but I do understand that, like, not everybody gets it, and it is kind of like a, it's a tricky booger. But yeah, that was like, I don't know about this. I don't know. And like, he was like really supportive, and he was telling me that like he had to go to therapy, and so he was really supportive of me going to therapy, and I was like, thank. Well, I also told him, because I've had like I'm gonna wipe off my camera because it just looks foggy for some reason. So I gained a stalker while I was at the shelter. Like, I had to file a police report and everything. It was a whole to-do. And when we went to lunch, I kept looking over my shoulder, and he's like, "What are you looking for?" And I was like, "Nothing." And then like something came up about this like creepy guy that's been following me around, and he's like, "How do you know him?" And I was like, "Oh, that's funny," as I proceeded to like eat more of my food. Because I didn't want to tell him like, I know him from the shelter, because then I'd have to explain to him like why I'm at a shelter. So, um, I kind of tried to like avoid the issue, and then I told him, and I was like crying. Man, I don't want to have to ever explain that part of my life to anyone in my real life, literally ever. I'm so like embarrassed and ashamed of the fact that I had to spend 3 months in a homeless shelter, and like everything that I'm doing right now, like I still don't even want to like acknowledge it, because there's such a stigma around it that it's really, really hard to talk about. Especially with people that don't know me and they're just now coming into my life. Um, but I guess I could just like omit that part of my existence and just be like, I'm a normal, quirky 20 something. um, but yeah, I explained everything to him about like the shelter, and I explained to him about therapy and things like that, and he was really supportive. And he would ask me, like, he would call before I would go to therapy and ask me, and then he would like have me call him after, and I don't know, it seemed like it was going really good. It seemed like it was something really positive, but when you go like a week without talking to somebody and you're still making posts on social media, like, I know you're not busy, I know you're not dead, so maybe I'm just being like that. I don't know, like maybe I'm just being some type of way because I'm a child. Um I just feel like in a relationship there, especially a new one, like there has to be communication, and I just don't feel like that communication is there. So, um somebody asked how my knee was. I dropped out of physical therapy because I literally just did not have time to go and I kept missing appointments. I was going to get kicked out of the program anyways because I kept missing appointments. Um so yeah, my knee, it still hurts pretty much all the time, but it's going to. That's just life. And then somebody just asked if I'd ever been hypnotized. No. Um Sounds like he was grooming you. Okay, so here's the thing. Um, I think in some way he was, because I'm very skeptical of people, and I feel like in some ways he was kind of trying to, in a way, um I don't know, man. It could have been like it could have been anything. I don't know if you guys saw, and this is not the same. Please don't get it twisted. This is not the same thing. If you saw Shane Dawson's video that he did with Brittany Louise Taylor about her relationship, and how like this guy came in and he was like treating her really good and like this and that, and then stuff got really questionable really fast. It's like that, but there was no like babies or engagements or anything like that involved. But it does mm, yeah, it just, I don't know. It seemed like a lot at once, and it was very strange because, like, okay, so when he was here, I told him that I was trying to get into this other place, right? And he was like, "Oh, well, how much is it?" And I told him how much the rent was, and he literally just like whipped out half of the rent and handed it to me and was like, "I want to help you." And I was just like bawling. I was like, "I can't do that. Like, I can't take your money because that's just like I didn't earn it, so it's not mine." So, like, he's like, "No, it's a gift. Like, I want to help you." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, then I was on like a Lifeline program with my phone, so you would get like a set amount of text and a set amount of minutes each month. And I ran out of minutes one night when I was talking to him. And so the next day he sent me $50 to go get unlimited talk and text on my phone, which I'm about to switch back because like I can't afford that. And he was like, "Well, I want to be able to talk to you all the time." And then like there was that. And then one night I was talking to him on FaceTime, and something came up about like chicken wings, and I was like, "Yo, that sounds so good right now." And he was like, "Do you have anywhere around you can get chicken wings?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's a Pizza Hut." And he asked how much it was, and I was like, "I don't know, like 20 bucks maybe." And he sent me 20 bucks to go get chicken wings. And I was like, "Okay." So I did, and they were good, but still it was like weird. And like when he came out, like he paid for lunch and he paid for coffee and he paid for the movie, like he paid for everything. And he like, brought me, you know, presents. I have like a little stuffed Waddles from Gravity Fall, like a little stuffed pig, and like a Waddles hat, which is really cool because I love pigs. And he brought me like 8 bottles of Cheerwine, which is the soda. Wow, that was real Midwestern soda. He brought me this Cheerwine soda from North Carolina, which was like one of my favorite things out there. And it's like, I hate moving so much because there's like a bunch of regional stuff that you get used to and then you can't find anywhere else. But yeah, it just, I don't know. Everything just seemed really, really good. And then literally out of nowhere, it wasn't. And I have like these weird suspicions that like maybe there's other girls involved and he's like busy with them or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and speculate for hours and hours and hours, but I'm so tired already. I just can't be bothered. Um, but yeah, back on the hypnotism thing. No, I've never been hypnotized. I've considered it, but I'm also like terrified of like what would happen if I was hypnotized. Um, but I think it's worth looking into also. We need to talk about all the stuff. And I'm not going to get too deep into it because I literally don't care. It's just a bunch of like drama, just drama. The stuff going on around the Rewired Soul. So I'm really not going to get into it like super deep or anything because not my circus. Um, but when I first started my channel, not really when I first started my channel, when I first started uploading when I was up in Denver, I remember I got a comment on one of my videos from Chris, and he was like, "Hey, I do a mental health channel too, and I would really, like for you to check it out and whatever." And then either he messaged me or I messaged him on Instagram. I don't remember who like made contact first, but we connected on Instagram, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to do like an interview with you for my channel and this and that." And honestly, I am so, so, so glad I never did that. He was like, "Oh yeah, do like Google this and that and whatever." And I don't know how to do all that. Like I'm literally an 80-year-old lady stuck in a 29-year-old body. But I was like, "Oh yeah, like I'll totally do that." And then I just never did. Um Mostly because I just couldn't figure out how, but he wanted me to, like, tape this segment and then, like, send it to him about, like, my channel and my struggles and this and that, like, a little, like, 5, 6, 7-minute clip, and I didn't do it, and I'm so glad I did because I really don't wanna be associated with those kinds of channels that are more about, like, drama and shenanigans, cause like, I just don't oh, man, my patience is so thin these days, like, I thought my hair was thin, but my patience is thinner. Um, Honestly, like, I really, really believed in his channel and what it was about when I first saw it back in, like, June or July of last year, cause it seemed guys, it really seemed like it was gonna be a good thing where it was like, let's talk about mental health stuff and whatever. But then the further down the line it got, it really did turn into just a giant dumpster fire of YouTube drama and trying to diagnose people and, saying that this person has borderline personality disorder, saying that this person is a sociopath, saying that this person is codependent. Like, doing things like that, and I understand like he probably had good intentions to begin with, but it really does seem like it got really skewed. To me, it just seemed like he was really taking a limited a limited amount of information and very limited experience, and he was saying like, "Oh, this is what it is." But the thing is, when you try to kind of take what you see on YouTube, which could be real, could be fake, who even knows? Like, okay, so in the case of Trisha Paytas, Trisha is like an OG YouTuber and has been around for like a bazillion years. And people have seen a lot of her life. Like she's literally like the biggest, like was the biggest troll, and now she's like more of like a vloggy type jam. So you take someone like her, literally who even knows if like what she's putting on YouTube is real or fake or anything like that. And you're trying to say, "Oh, well, she has borderline." Okay, well, whether or not she does is not your business. And second of all, literally, who are you? Do you pay her bills? Like, who are you to sit here and judge her and try to, like, give her a diagnosis or anything like that? I've had doctors look at me and be like, "You have borderline." And I was like, "Your mom has borderline." Um, I don't take stuff like that too serious. Like, it's more of like a general guideline. Like, yeah, it'd be cool to, like, stick a label on it, but, like, does the label actually matter? I feel like when somebody with limited information who's read a handful of books and maybe owns a copy of the DSM-5 sits there and tries to diagnose other people or sits there and tries to kind of put other people on blast, I guess, it just strikes me wrong, and it really does do more harm than good to the mental health community because we're not all like that, and honestly, I okay, so when I started I don't even know what that noise was. It sounded like a robot glitching or something. when I started my channel, it was more of like almost like a video diary where I just kind of wanted to sit and talk and just be like, being crazy is hard. Because I feel like there's not really a lot of people talking about it. And I honestly thought that's what his channel was going to be like, where it was like, you know, him talking about things and like being real and open and honest and vulnerable and blah, 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 blah. But it didn't turn into that. It turned into like a just a big old slimy dumpster fire of, you know, using other people for views, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's almost like we spent so much time stigmatizing mental health. And now it's like, oh my God, you have depression. I have depression too. Like, I get so sad sometimes when I watch, like, what do people watch on TV these days? Do people even watch TV? Is that a thing? Oh my God, when I watch This Is Us, I get like super depressed. Like, it's so depressing. And it's like, no, Betty, you're sad about things because sad is an emotion and people get sad about things, okay? But like depression, crippling depression, it can actually kill you. So, maybe choose your words more carefully. Or like, I remember when I was a kid and back in the day when I went to school, um, those little like programs that they make you do, like we would all get nervous about it. But these days it's like nervous and anxious are interchangeable. Or like anxiety. Like you can be anxious about something and not have anxiety about it. I mean, like you can be nervous about something and not have anxiety about it. Like those are separate, very very separate things. And I really feel like we're just mislabeling emotions, and now all of a sudden everybody and their cat has depression and anxiety, and it's like, no, I literally in November almost died from depression. It's not a game. Like it's not a joke. It is very 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 serious. It doesn't need to be memed into oblivion. It doesn't need to be, you know, made fun of into oblivion. Or like, let's just calm down. Let's address it the same way that we do a broken leg or diabetes. Sorry, diabetes. Um, we don't need to turn everything into a big to do. Like, okay, some people have depression. Why has it got to be a big thing? Why does mental health have to be this big sympathetic thing? It's either you get all the pity and the sympathy and the this and that, or it's like it's so stigmatized that like you're not even a person. Like where is the in between? Where's the middle ground? Because that's the field that I want to be on. I don't want all this sympathetic buffoonery where it's like, are you doing okay? I just feel like your energy is like really, really down. I just want to make sure that you're so okay. Like I don't need this. I don't need this, but I also don't need people being so afraid of a brain that's not up to their standards automatically assuming that I'm like some serial killer or something. Well, Lucky Charms, actually they're gluten free. I found out, so like in that context, yes, but again in the normal one, no. But like I don't need people assuming that I'm gonna like just go off the rails and like flip my biscuits or something because of the slightest little inconvenience or whatever. Because that's what crazy people do. We're just assuming that everyone who has anything mentally wrong with them is somehow crazy. Like that either one of these extremes are just both garbage. But I also feel like we really do need to find that middle ground. And channels like The Rewired Soul are actually really, really harmful because they're kind of taking this drama aspect of things and acting like, yeah, anybody who's big on YouTube has a mental illness, or anybody who has drama in their life has a mental illness or whatever. Like, I don't know. I get where he was coming from, but I really, really do feel like the execution of the whole thing was so, so harmful. Like, so incredibly harmful to the whole freaking community. And, like, he could have been doing interviews with people who, you know, have mental illness and saying like, oh, here's the research that I did, and here's what I learned. you know I did an interview with this person. This is their story, or this is like their diagnosis, and this is what they want to share about it, and make it more of like an educational thing rather than turning it into a big drama dumpster, because I'm really tired of the dumpster analogy. Even though it's like kind of one of my favorite things, but whatever. Um so yeah, I don't want to be associated with channels like that. I'm really glad I didn't do the interview. I would like to find more genuine humans that human well that are in the mental health community, because I feel like we're out there and we exist. We're just so disconnected from each other and sometimes reality that we can't really, you know, find the support system. I never watched Peter Mon or Dustin Daly, so I really can't relate. I mean, I do like a little bit of tea here and there. I really like Petty Page because she puts so much work into her videos. And all her stuff is like, it just seems like it's so well researched, and I'm really about that. But I'm pretty sure Petty Page is really the only person, I guess, like in the drama community that I watch on a regular basis. I honestly don't even know anymore. Do I watch anybody else? Spill. Oh my gosh. She has this adorable little like animated like avatar kind of thing, and she puts so much work into her videos that I'm just, oh, man, I'm just about it. I really like when people are informed, and if they're going to be spreading information, that they're spreading informed information, but they're kind of like giving you the facts and letting you come up with things on your own, because I feel like that's really important. Yes. Where is... Oh, it's hanging up, and it's like literally all the way over there. Ugh, I wanted to go get my root beer out of my backpack, but it's like 2.5 feet away, and that's so far. Also, I was gonna do this video on Smile Direct Club back in December, but I'm gonna have to wait another month because they're awful. I'm gonna have to wait another month before I can do that one. So if you guys have any questions about Smile Direct Club, please let me know. And I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? Trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, the headbands. Okay, so yeah, I'm literally the actual worst. I didn't have access to internet for like flipping ever. I do still have the headbands, and they are still going to be for sale. I'm trying to figure out, for some reason, when I try to set up the Facebook page, like a business Facebook page, and try to put in like the stuff so that you can buy them, it won't let me do it. So I gotta figure something out as far as payment goes. I have Venmo and I have Zelle, but I don't know how comfortable people are using things like that. But I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. How's my parents? Okay, guys, literally like the best news of all time. 2 days before my birthday, my parents came in to where I work because I had to drop something off with them. And they came in, and my dad just got the results of a PET scan. And for those of you who don't know, my dad has a stage 4 malignant melanoma. Metastasized malignant melanoma, I should say. But I guess I should also say had, because he somehow is now cancer-free. So for somebody in their 50s to just all of a sudden not have stage 4 cancer anymore is completely mind-blowing. I don't know how he did it. Like, the last I heard, he had a spot behind his eye, he had spots in his brain, he had spots on his lungs. spots all over. Like, he was a Dalmatian with the amount of cancer that was in his body, and then he went and had a PET scan, and this is what gets me, though. This was after he had stopped taking his chemo because the weed that he was smoking, whatever was in that strain of THC, was actually interfering with the chemo, and it was making the chemo not work. And so then he stopped taking I'm gonna cry. He stopped taking the chemo and was just he calls it herbal enhancements. It's weed. um he was doing that, and his next PET scan he was completely clear, and I'm just like, that's witchcraft, though. Like, it was just like, it was mind-blowing. But speaking of, I actually should be going to bed soon because I thought I could sleep in tomorrow, but I can't. No, wait, Thursday. I can sleep in tomorrow. Oh, bless. Thursday, I have a dermatology appointment with the same doctor that treated my dad, to do a cancer check. So I actually have on this arm, I have a frecker. I've always had this frecker. But I also have, like, up here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, yeah, right there. How tragic is that I'm literally so clear? Like, look at all those veins. Ew. But this little guy has come up recently and quickly, and he's not very evenly colored, and he's definitely not symmetrical, and so that's like 2 out of like 5. That kind of like does me a little bit of a concern. Also, I'm going to be in a wedding in October. I'm a bridesmaid. I'm so excited because it's my first time. But when I went a couple weeks ago to try on bridesmaids dresses, so I have a cyst on my back, and I've had this cyst for a while. And I've literally had it so long that there was a video in like 2014 that someone took in school. We were doing back facials, and someone was doing mine, and they actually had to extract the cyst because they went over it with the cleanser, and it already started coming out. And so they went ahead and started extracting it, which I was fine with. And it's just a basic cyst, like just draining. I'm not trying to get all gross, but like just draining a basic cyst is like, it's like popping a zit. It's really not that hard. It's just kind of gross. But when we went to go try on these bridesmaids dresses, we went to zip one of them up. Oh my God, I hate my life. And it squeezed just enough to begin an extraction of the cyst on my spine. And I was like, yes, this would happen to me. To only me. Because of course it would. It was super awkward. Luckily, nothing really, like, stuck to the dress, because otherwise it was gonna be, like, a really bad time. But I really do need, I don't know that it's deep enough that it's actually attached to my spine, but where it sits is, like, literally, like, just slightly, ever so slightly to the left of my spine. And I would really like to get it removed before it grows legs, and I'm now paralyzed. Also, I'm thinking about having this guy removed, my little unicorn horn, because I don't know. It's just, look at it. It's so weird. It's just like this little it's like a boob on my forehead, and I'm just not about it. Like, it's a benign adipose deposit, which basically means a non-cancerous sack of fat, but like, that's gross. It's on my face. I'm gonna end up memeing myself into just absolute oblivion because of the just buffoonery that comes out of my face. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my cork board. I wish I could show you, but there's like personal information on there, and I can't. You should watch Dr. Pimple Popper, instantly feel better about yourself. Okay, so literally we used to watch Dr. Pimple Popper in class for learning how to do like proper extractions and stuff, but honestly, like, sometimes the way that she does extractions, just it's like upsetting almost, because she uses so much like anesthetic it just does me a bamboozle because I'm like, how many syringes do you go through a day? And also, like, estheticians don't use anesthetic. We can only use like lancets, which are like the little diabetic pokey um those little things. We can use those for extractions, depending on the state and, you know, legals. um Most people use their fingers wrapped in 4x4 gauze or 4x4 cotton. I prefer an extraction tool just because that's what I was trained with. um yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's so much anesthetic, and I don't know if I could get into dermatology because of that, but also because of like my dad having skin cancer, I feel like it might be like too close. And I was gonna go into oncological aesthetics, which is like skin cancer or just like cancer specific aesthetics, but I was like, yeah, it's a little too close. And I'm a very, very emotional potato, and I really just don't know because I could honestly like make a pizza and cry about it. Um so yeah, there's that. There's your update. It only took like 12 years and 40 minutes of existence. Um I do have internet where I'm at right now, so hopefully um hopefully things will improve. I don't know for sure though. I'm currently recording on my phone because I am entirely too tired to get up and get my camera and get my mic. I bought a little side table today so I can like sit on the floor and do the YouTubes because I'm like so famous. But the catch of all of this. So when I went bridesmaids dress shopping, I stayed with my friends. The same friends that I was at when Ishka passed away. Her birthday is on the 12th, by the way, so warm wishes for the dead baby. Um, she was a guinea pig, in case anybody just joined the circle. I'm not talking about an actual dead child, but my guinea pig, her 7th birthday would have been April 12th, and I have like a little ritual prepared where I'm gonna like drink some tea and I'm gonna light some rosemary, which is an herb of remembrance, and I'm gonna sit with her urn and just remember all the good times I had with my little squishy bear. Um, but yeah, I was staying with my friends, the same ones that I was staying with when Ishka passed away, and they went to a concert, and I was at the apartment just like kicking it, eating a pizza, watching Netflix, and I had oh god, I hate my life so much. I had a glass of water that spilled all over my laptop that I literally just bought last summer. And it's fried. It's gone. It is RIP my laptop. But I had an old one that is literally an ancient piece of garbage that still runs like Windows 8 or XP or something. I honestly don't even know, but it's like a really, really old operating system. And I really don't know what the quality of anything will be if I start recording on that. So it's what I was originally recording on when I was in North Carolina. So maybe man, I don't even know anymore. So now I got to save up money for the bridesmaid's dress. I got to save up money for a new laptop. My friend wants me to go with her to the beauty show in Vegas in June, and I might have to just skip on that because I really got to prioritize my existence. And trips to Vegas are cool and stuff, but also so is having a place to live, and so is food. And yeah, I need to line my ducks according to size and intensity of impact, because some big ducks will really duck you up. Anywho, I am gonna go. It's about that time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking with me through my many many a hiatus. I feel like this is probably the most, I don't want to say stable, but I also don't want to say sane, but yeah, no. This is probably the most okay-ish that I've been in a really long time. So
I dig it. Yeah, I will try to keep you guys updated. Socials are somewhere on the top banner somewhere. I put them there. I don't know. Does anybody even go to home pages like actual like channel pages? English first language. Um yeah, I'm going to go. I'm super tired. But thank you guys for watching and I will hopefully